And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. This is the story of a horse, a story famous in Arizona history, and one that never fails to send a tingle up and down my spine. I hope it'll thrill you the same way as you hear about Two Bits. It's back in 1864. The territory of Arizona is only 1 year old. Its capital, Prescott, a cluster of rude log buildings in a sparsely settled wilderness overrun by Apaches. The only protection to the region is Fort Whipple.
Oh, Captain!
Yes, Sam?
About those pack horses you ordered gotten rid of, sir.
Well, what about them?
Well, there's one of them I'd like to put a word in for.
I've already looked them over, Sam. There are none of them that are fit for work. They never should have been sent to us in the first place.
Oh, you're right. They shouldn't.
The sooner we get rid of them, the better.
But this particular critter, though...
There's no place in a post like this for man or beast that can't swing his weight.
Will you just come and look at him, Captain?
Sam, I'm busy.
As a favor to me?
Sometimes I think you take advantage of me, Sam. Just because we grew up together in San Francisco is no...
Then you will? Good.
Mind you, I'm not promising anything. I just said I'd look. Is this the nag?
This is Two Bits.
It's a mighty sorry-looking specimen.
He was a great horse in his day. Cleaned up plenty of money.
You mean he was a racehorse?
Sure. I saw him run in New Orleans back in '51. He nosed out the favorite just at the finish line. And he broke the record for the track. Oh, what a race that was.
Are you sure he's the same?
I never forget a horse.
It's hard to believe. What happened to you, fella?
Somewhere along the line, he's had a lot of abuse. Look at those eyes. Oh, let me keep him, Captain. With rest and care and plenty of feed, he'd soon fill out again.
You talk as if we had feed to spare, Sam. Supplies here at Whipple are scarce.
I'll forage for him.
Well, all right.
Oh, thank you, Captain. We'll show him, won't we, Two Bits?
I'm a soft-hearted fool. Saddle up my horse, Sam.
Going into Prescott?
No, out to the Wade Ranch. Every day the danger of an Apache uprising grows. I'm worried.
For Miss Audrey Wade?
As post commander, I'm responsible for the safety of all the settlers. You've got a lot of cheek, Sam.
You told me yourself you were going to marry her.
Well, it isn't common knowledge, though.
You don't think so?
Well, then I know who spread the word. Sam, I ought to knock your block off.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye, Two Bits.
It was good of you to look in on us, Captain. Audrey here seems to think you don't come often enough.
Oh, Papa.
I'm glad everything's going all right.
I reckon the Indians will get tired of stealing our cattle.
Well, let's hope so. Goodbye, honey.
I wish you didn't have to go. It always seems twice as lonesome afterwards.
Well, how about you returning my call sometime?
Well, the next trip we make into Prescott, we'll stop at Fort Whipple.
Yes, 6 months from now.
I'm afraid so.
Maybe you could come over on the 4th of July. You and your father both. We're putting on some maneuvers. The commandant from Fort Wingate will be there with some of his cavalry.
All the way from New Mexico?
You'll see some mighty pretty horsemanship.
Oh, I'd love it. Could we, Father?
No, it's quite a distance. Well, I guess it'd be all right.
Good.
I'll be counting the days.
And I'll be counting the hours and the minutes. Well, I guess that winds up the show, Audrey.
That's it.
It was wonderful, Colonel Downey.
Yep, makes the body feel mighty thankful having all that protection out here in this wilderness.
Unfortunately, half of them belong over at Fort Wingate. There's your really big garrison.
Well, how big is it, Colonel?
3 troops. That's 384 men.
Compared with only 80 men here at Whipple.
Something more to come?
An unscheduled exhibition by Private Loomis on 2 bits.
2 bits? I can't believe it. That horse was nothing but a piece of crowbait a while back. My orderly, the man who's riding him, begged a reprieve for the poor fella.
Look at that horse run.
Oh, how beautiful he is.
My orderly said he's a former racehorse. Broke the track record at New Orleans. Sam, it's a miracle.
Kind of surprised you, sir.
You certainly did. Colonel Downey, this is Private Sam Loomis.
Colonel?
Mr. Wade, Miss Wade, I think you've met Sam before.
Yes, we have.
We could use your services at Wingate as a veterinary.
Have you got any horses like 2 bits to work on, Colonel? I'd be glad to. Would you like to try to ride him, Captain?
I'm no jockey.
Oh, he's as good on the trail as on the track. Go ahead, just try him.
I will, next time we go on reconnaissance.
This fella's not only got speed, he's got savvy. Haven't you, 2 bits?
About 2 bits, Sam. He has got savvy. He knows we're being watched. Look at those ears.
He don't have to see Injuns. He can smell them.
And they're all around us.
Do you dare chance the canyon?
It's the most direct route to the Wade Ranch. We've got to warn them, and I don't want to waste any time. Things are fast coming to a head with the Apaches. Any time now I look to see the whole tinderbox explode.
You mean a general uprising?
We've been hearing that for months.
There's already been an outbreak at Date Creek Ranch south of us. We've had to send half our troops down there.
What do you think we should do?
Move into Prescott at once.
Leave the ranch?
At least until the danger's over.
I wouldn't dream of it. This place represents everything I've got in the world.
What about your own life?
I'll risk it.
And your daughters?
You go on into Prescott, honey.
Without you, I will not.
I'll escort you there. The governor will find quarters for you. Go pack your things right away, Audrey.
I can't leave him, Charlie.
Well, then both of you come. It's not safe here. There are Apaches ambushed all around in the hills, just waiting. We saw them as we came over.
I ain't afraid.
In case of an uprising, sir, we'll be powerless to help you. It'll be all we can do to hold the fort with half our troops gone.
I ain't going to leave my property.
Audrey, honey, for my sake.
He needs me, Charlie. Now we'll be all right. Don't worry.
You should leave this place. Try to persuade him.
picked this time to strike? The devils, knowing there's only a handful of men here.
I've got to get word to Fort Wingate at once and ask for reinforcements. I'll send a courier.
One man? Alone?
We can't spare more than one.
That's a long ride, sir. Several hundred miles.
250.
With Apaches all along the way.
Assemble the men and ask for a volunteer.
You don't need it, Captain. I'll go. On one condition, sir. If I can ride 2 bits.
We'll go saddle them together. You take the Verde Trail. It'll be a case of hide and seek every mile of the way.
We'll make it.
God grant that you do. The lives of all northern Arizona depend on it.
You hear that, 2 bits?
And Sam,
I'll stop at the Wade Ranch on the way.
tell them and any other settlers to get down here to the fort as fast as they can.
Well, I guess I'm ready.
There seem to be less Indians to the north of us. I'd suggest you ride that way and then circle south.
Well, I'm counting on the surprise and 2-bit speed to get through them. Goodbye, Charlie.
Goodbye, Sam. Godspeed.
Mr. Wade! Mr. Wade! It's a general uprising. Ride to Fort Whipple as fast as you can.
I'll saddle the horses. You pack some things. Out of sight here. Just pray they didn't see us turn off the trail. Oh, thank God. I know what you're thinking. If I hadn't been so pig-headed about heeding the captain's advice...
I'm not blaming you, Father.
You got every right to, both of you. If you never see each other again, it'll all be my fault.
We're not going to die here. Charlie will rescue us somehow. I'm sure of it.
If I hadn't have been such a fool, he wouldn't have had to.
The Indians have fallen back, and we're still surrounded.
Any sign of the Wades?
No, sir.
I can't understand it unless Sam and 2 Bits couldn't get through.
go on any farther, Two Bits. You know the drill, boy. You've been there before. Go ahead, fella. Go on to Wingate. Go on!
Sir, the sergeant of the guard reports a riderless horse outside the fort. Open the main gate and bring him in. Yes, sir.
The rider must have been killed. There's blood on everything.
Fresh stains, too. This couldn't have happened many hours ago. Look in the other pouch, Lieutenant. See if there are any dispatches. Not a thing, sir. Nothing at all to tell us where he came from.
Fort Marcy, most likely.
That's Santa Fe. Lieutenant, saddle up. Send a scouting party out. East? East. No, west. I recognize this horse now. He's from Fort Whipple. Fort Whipple?
2 Bits.
2 Bits. We saw him perform at Whipple. Lieutenant, order up 2 troops, full strength. On the double. Juggler, sound boots and saddles. Trooper, take good care of this horse. Give him the best.
Yes, sir.
Captain Evans, you'll take the main detachment on the Oak Canyon Trail. Lieutenant, we'll take the Birdie Trail. Yes, sir.
Poor fella. You run yourself clean out, didn't you?
Private Loomis, Fort Whipple.
Thank God you're alive. When your horse came in without you, we thought you were dead.
Then 2 Bits got through to Wingate?
Arrived this morning early. We left him there to rest. What's the situation?
Apaches, general uprising. Half our troops are cut off, but the captain's holding the fort as best he can until help comes.
How about yourself?
Got an extra mount?
Yes, I got Wilson this morning in an earlier skirmish. You can have his mount.
Thank you, sir.
Before you fall in, Lieutenant, I want this man's arm dressed and his arm put in a sling.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Fall in whenever you're ready.
Audrey! Audrey! They're coming.
Apaches?
No, soldiers. About a mile down the road. Let's get out of here and hail them before they get by.
Miss Audrey, Mr. Wade. Some neighboring settlers, good friends of the captain's.
Sure, I met you folks at Fort Whipple.
How come you ain't there now?
The Indians overtook us. We've been hiding in the rocks for days.
Well, fall in and we'll give you a safe escort the rest of the way.
Oh, my God. Oh, let's go.
Colonel, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Got here as fast as we could, Captain.
Sam, you said you'd make it, and by heaven you did.
Not me, Captain. It was 2 bits. I fell by the wayside. Redskins winged me, and 2 bits traveled the last stretch alone.
With no rider?
If it hadn't been for 2 bits, we'd have never got the word.
And I'd still be hiding in the brush.
Well, where's 2 bits now?
Fort Wingate.
Well, was he hurt?
Not a scratch. Just worn out.
Audrey!
Charlie.
Audrey, honey, if you knew how I prayed, the torture I went through.
God watches over us. I know that now. No matter how many devils surround us.
We'll rout those devils with the help we now have. Private Sam Loomis, front and center.
Private Sam Loomis, who in the face of almost certain death volunteered as courier to warn and thus to save the lives of the people of northern Arizona. I present this medal on behalf of a grateful country.
Wait! Yes!
And for another great soldier, we present this medal, which we ask you to accept in his behalf. He fought a good fight. He finished the course. He kept the faith. 2 bits. God rest his soul.
Request permission to lower the flag, sir.
Permission granted.
And that is the story of 2 Bits, who ran his last race in the service of his country.